And Debbie, I know you have a dog, so we're going to get to that in a moment. But for right now, if you have well, we'll add that in. And then I'll introduce Sundance. If you play piano, write a P in the chat and extra bonus points if you want to write what you played last, whatever music, whether it was today, a month ago, a year ago, church music, Debussy, Beethoven, Elton John, whatever, and put an M in the chat. If you don't play piano, you just love music. And if you have a dog, as Debbie, I know you do, put your dog's name in the chat. So this is, and for Bowie too, this is my pup, Sundance. Let me move this a tiny bit so you see her better. You would not know she's actually a very, very active dog. She's turning 2 this month. I've had her for about 6 months. Adam, so good to see you. And thanks, Barry and Susan. So nice to see you. And the Sativ Janapade. So fantastic. So if you're just joining, put P and what music you've last played in the chat. If you play piano, if you don't, you're still welcome. And put an M in the chat. If you have a dog, put your dog's name. Or cats. Cats are also welcome. I say that because typically every July 4th I play a concert just for dogs and their people. And we're going to hear one piece in this program today that's written actually for me and for your dogs. We'll get to that. But instead of doing that this year, I'm doing the American music of hopes and dreams because we could all use some inspiration right now. So Sydney, so nice to see you, and Mary, great to see you. This first composer, Amy Beach, is very near and dear to my heart. She actually she went by 2 names. She really went by Amy Beach as a performer, and she went by Mrs. H.H.A. Beach as a composer. So like the score with all of her works, has, oh, it does say Amy Beach. She had very distinct careers at different times of her life. She was born in 1867 in the northeast part of the United States, outside of Boston, and was really a child prodigy in the sense that she was writing music before she could write English. She was writing when she was like even less than 4, I think. She was writing compositions, but she didn't understand the theory yet. It just was coming out of her. And she would say to her parents that this piece is in blue and this piece is in purple and this piece is in red. And so it wasn't until later that they realized that each color had a particular key. So really just gorgeous work and incredible talent in the sense that, so she was living, in the end of the Romantic era in the late 1800s, where she would go to concerts in Boston of hearing the premiere of Dvorak's New World Symphony, and she would go home and write it. That's an incredible ear that you would remember all that and write it. And she couldn't get proper composition lessons because women in those days were told they didn't have the emotional ability. Sound familiar? The emotional ability, the physical stamina, or the intellect. Sound familiar? To write compositions. So she proved them wrong. So because she was told she could only do small scale compositions, which you're about to hear, but she ended up writing a gorgeous big mass and a symphony and a piano concerto that's 45 minutes long, and gorgeous chamber music, string quartets and piano quintets, and just gorgeous vocal music. So, but she taught herself she'd play Bach preludes and fugues and then write out the fugue by memory. That's how she taught herself counterpoint. So this piece I'm going to play, I do play some large scale works of hers, but today I'm playing the Amy Beach Dreaming from Sketches. I thought it'd be appropriate way to start this American music of hopes and dreams. And enjoy, take a big breath and just take this in. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous music. You might hear some other hints of other composers. If you do, put it in the chat. Who do you think this sounds like? So hopefully that set you in a dreamy state for today's program. And if you've never heard the music Amy Beach, I really invite you to explore more of it. Her everything, her vocal music, her chamber music, her piano concerto, just absolutely stunning. Carol, so nice to see you, and Gil, and so many, so many. Thank you so much for being here. If we haven't met yet, I'm Lisa Spector. I am known for helping adult classical pianists with smart practice habits so that they learn more in less time. And I also have some of my dog crowd here, so I'm also known for recording music for canine anxiety. We're probably going to hear fireworks here tonight. Heard some last night. This Sundance did not react, which was a blessing, because this is the first 4th of July with her. So, but I know her history, so I know she's not sound sensitive. So, I am going to move on to two works that were written for me. And it is such an honor to have not only music written for you, but written for you by someone you know. So I met Zach Gulaboff Davis on the dog agility field. He's a dog agility judge, and I was then with my dog Gina competing in dog agility trials. And so we met on the agility field, and I had no idea that he was an award-winning composer. He's in the Northeast. He's young, and he is talented as all get out. Like, just his music is premiered pretty much every week somewhere. He's just fabulous. So this first nocturne he wrote, actually, if you have a dog, write your dog's name in the chat. And this first nocturne, there's two nocturnes. The first one was written second for me, but this is also very dreamy. It's called The Stillness of Night. So it's actually written for canine anxiety, but it's also for people, because if you could use some chill time right now, put a C in the chat. Like, I could. It's one of the reasons I play this. So it's not only for Sundance and your dog, but it's also for you too. So it's not only good for the canine nervous system, it's really good for the human nervous system. And you'll see a lot of me reaching over with my right hand to play the bass, because lower frequencies calm the canine nervous system, the human nervous system too. So you'll see a lot of that and hear a lot of that, and just take this in. And Paula is here with Maddie, your dog. So great. Glad to see more dog people here. And enjoy. It's a short one, and it's sweet and just so beautiful. So that's, if you felt your heart rate just slow down for that, put an H in the chat. That is on my album Doggone Calm. So sorry to not get that link ready, but if you ask Alexa, oops, sorry, if you ask A to stream it, ask for Doggone Calm by Lisa Spector, and it's in all streaming platforms. And lots of H's going on, so it's not only for dogs. And this next one is not quite as calming, except for the start and the end of it. So this next nocturne, also written by Zach Gulaboff Davis, is very unique because this was written for me. So in 2017, the end of June, it was right before July 4th. It was right after I did an early July 4th concert in person in my home, and I fell and had a major hand injury, 7 fractures, 4 surgeries, 186 hand therapy sessions. And there were several years where, in addition to being told I would never play piano again, I did have use of these all my left hand plus these 3 fingers. So when Zach offered to write a piece for me for left hand only, I said, Zach, why don't you write the world's first piece for 8 fingers, which he did. So now I have all use of all 10 fingers, obviously, and I forget sometimes which ones fingers I'm supposed to use. But not only did he write it for 8 fingers, but it tells my story. So it starts out very beautiful, and it builds to this huge climax, which is my fall, like a lot of chaos and a lot of enormous jumps on the piano and a big fall. And you'll hear the crash, definitely. And, prepare your dogs if you have one at home. And then I'm in this fog after this, which is exactly how it felt. I'm in this fog and I'm coming out of it, and it goes from minor to major, and it's like me coming out of the clouds and just into sublime. It's just so beautiful. It took me a good several months before I could play this without crying because it was so emotional for me at the time. My hand was severely injured. So I did not know that I'd be playing with 2 hands, at this point. So it was very emotional, and enjoy the story behind this as well. I can finally get through it without crying, but it took me a long time. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm sure put a C in the chat if you could hear when that crash exactly happened. That's exactly what it felt like for my hand. It was, I say now, it was horrendous at the time. I thought my finger had fallen off. But I say now, it was simultaneously the worst day of my life and the best day of my life. Because at the time it was devastating. I was told I would never play piano again. I had so many complications, so many more surgeries than expected, and so many things, so many delays in progress. But two things. I learned the importance of little by little of it. I wasn't, as soon as I took my time frame, as soon as I said, I have to be playing this piece by this date, which just slowed down my progress. As soon as I took that off and listened to my second-hand therapist who took me through 186 treatments, and I realized it's little by little. And I think it's one of the things that helped me form the piano ninja tricks, because even though you may not have had a hand injury, and maybe you don't have hand arthritis, maybe you don't have a physical setback if you're a pianist, you know the challenge and the frustration of not being able to play the music that you love. So it's one of the reasons I started these, like the hand therapist, my first one, who I fired, that told me I'd never play again. It's because she didn't know that I knew how to play with ease and little movement, and some major thing I teach in the Piano Ninja Tricksters Club. So if you're not on my email list, I'm just going to highlight the link to get all of my freebies, and you can get Piano Ninja fingering tracks. You can get how to accomplish 20 minutes in an hour's, how to accomplish an hour's worth of progress in 20 minutes of time. And that is right. Sorry, that is here. Okay, that's sorry. Okay, that is at lisaspector.com/freebies, and it'll get you started with Piano Ninja, and I have a whole bunch of things coming up I'll talk about as we go along. So put a G in the chat if you like, maybe even adore, maybe even love the music of Gershwin. So these, I'm going to start with two arrangements. I was very, very fortunate in my Juilliard days to study with Earl Wild. He's no longer alive, rest in peace, and he was a legend. He was one of the handful, or maybe two handfuls, of great romantic pianists. And he had this incredible facility, and he could teach it, but he also was a wonderful composer and arranger. So I wish I had studied these with him. In those days, I did not appreciate arrangements the way I do now. I was too much of a snob back then. But now I just love arrangements, and it's particularly good arrangements, and these are incredible. So he took 7 of the Gershwin tunes that are very familiar to Liza, The Man I Love, Embraceable You, I Got Rhythm, Fascinating Rhythm, and turned them into virtuoso piano etudes. Well, one of them, The Man I Love, he actually wrote twice. He wrote one, for his first arrangement was for left hand only. Then his second arrangement was for 2 hands. I've played both. So I'm going to be doing a hybrid for you that's starting with left hand only and then going to right hand. And then that will be followed by the very famous Embraceable You for 2 hands. And I can't reach, because of my hand injury, I can't reach some of the notes I used to reach, but my motto is screw perfect, just make music. So I may miss some notes, I may leave out some notes, I do what I can, but my goal is to make music and share it with you. So I'm doing that, and even in music that my hand is not as accessible for my hand, but I can still make it through. So enjoy. If you're a pianist who's played left hand music, put an L in the chat. That would be good to know. I mean, music for left hand only. can't help but think of my mom, rest in peace, who that was one of her favorites. And it was one of my dad's as well. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are ready for Rhapsody in Blue, put a blue in the chat. Right, the word blue. And I'm going to do one other. Okay, so with the Rhapsody in Blue, so he wrote this. Do I have this right? Yeah, he wrote a band arrangement first, then an orchestra, so orchestra and piano, which is I have done with orchestra, and that's kind of what I'm about to play. But then he wrote from that a solo version of Rhapsody Blue, which I'm not playing. So I'm doing a little bit of a hybrid. So what you're going to hear is mostly the solo piano part, but the way Rhapsody in Blue works is that so much of it is actually orchestra has a theme, piano has the theme, orchestra has the theme, then piano has the theme. So I'm able to kind of put them together, but I'm going to be playing some orchestra parts too. So sometimes when it gets a little thinned out, sometimes that's the orchestra part. And so this is a bit of a hybrid. You're going to hear the famous melodies throughout, except for one part. So there's one part where the winds have the melody. Couldn't fit the orchestra in here, so you're going to hear just piano part during that. And like I was saying for the Embraceable You, there's places I can't reach the chords, and I just play it because my goal is to make music. So enjoy this kind of personalized arrangement of Rhapsody in Blue. So good to see you, Galea, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Liz, so great, and Chris, so good, and Janice, so glad you could join us. And this is probably the biggest work on the program. So enjoy. It's Boston Pops. I grew up hearing the Boston Pops play this we used to watch fireworks from our porch in Manlius, New York, a suburb outside of Syracuse. And then we would hear the Boston Pop. I think we'd hear the Boston Pops play it first on PBS. And they always did an All-American 4th of July program, and there was always include Rhapsody in Blue. So that's my annual tradition of Rhapsody in Blue. Just it's so fun. It's so fun to play. Anyone listening who's a pianist play this? Let me know in the chat if you've played it. Put a P here. It'd be great. And also, speaking of which, if you're a pianist, give me 1 second. But I started a new. Let's put it this way. Okay, if you are just done with Facebook and done with Facebook groups and done with there are many reasons to be off Facebook, but including all of the distractions, put an F in the chat. So I created a private community free group, but it is not on Facebook. It is so much better than Facebook. And it is the new Piano Ninja Lounge. So lounge.lisaspector.com. And when you come in there, if you enter before probably July 8th, you get access to my free, it's normally not free, but it's my Piano Ninja mini course. So you have access to that. And so last week I started preparing for this about 10 days ago. So I started going on YouTube Live, practicing from the first day that I opened this music. None of this is new to me, but just reworking it and how I was able to do that in about half an hour a day. And then last night I recorded myself. So some members in my Piano Ninja Tricksters Club, Michael and I think it was one of the Susan Weber, requested that, how do I practice the day before? So I recorded myself. I didn't look like this, but I recorded myself last night going through my program and then that is in this Piano Ninja Lounge for you to access. So that is one of the things I learned from one of my fabulous teachers, Lillian Clear, is to, when you're getting closer to performance, to play everything not slow, but just a little under tempo and a little under dynamics. And what happens is the areas that you need to work on then get exposed. So that is all in the lounge. I'm not in my pajamas. I am in jeans, but I'm not dressed like this. Yeah, lots of people here. Thank you so much for the beautiful applause. And then the last thing I want to leave you with piano. So if you're in the Piano Ninja Tricksters Club, we have many members here, so I'll get you this separately. But I have been working night and day on something where Karen, you can relate. The technical aspect is not done, but I'm going to tell you about it and give you a temporary link in a second. So I am on Sunday, a week from Sunday, so Sunday, July 13th, I am inviting you to come practice with me in a master class called Outsmarting Your Practice. How can you use your practice time to be more efficient, to get more done, to have it be more joyful, and to faster get to the music of your dreams that you really want to be playing? So that's going to be on Sunday night. And give me 1 second. So this is this lisaspector.com/outsmart tells you about it, but the link doesn't work. So don't sign up there. But it will work by tonight. It will work by tonight. So it tells you about it. If you want to pre-register today, right now, then go to lisaspector.com/July 13th. That's the day, and that's just a simple Google form to get you registered. If you sign up right now, I will send you some bonus, some freebie. I have so many. You know what I'll send you is I'll get you 2 hours ago. I listened to my own performance guided visualization. And so it helped me prepare for this. It puts me in the moment. It gets me centered. It gets me confident. It's an audio file. It's about 7 minutes long. And so I'll get you that if you sign up for today. And then by tonight, the Outsmart link will happen. So you have an invitation to that. So I really just can't thank you enough for being here. I love performing, and I really had a wonderfully, I did not in the mood to go to parades, and I'm just in a somber mood after everything that happened this week and with our American government. And so I really had a wonderfully reflective, quiet day getting ready for this, and plan to do the same this evening. So, Karen, the good question. The event is the masterclass is at 4 Pacific. So in Washington State, it's 4 and 7. Sorry, that's not right. 5 o'clock Pacific and 8 o'clock Eastern. And so that also, I have an Asian following, and so that allows you to come if you want to come on Monday morning. And I'll get you that information, and it will be live tonight. So Karen, I know you can relate about these. I was so proud of that page, and then I couldn't get the links to work. But I'm persistent. I never give up. So that will be working tonight. And thank you so much. I wish you a peaceful, safe, musical rest of your 4th of July, and go listen to American music, listen to Barber, listen to Copeland, listen to current day composers. Just enjoy, and I really appreciate you being here. And this link, if you want to share this with anyone afterwards, people always ask, well, how do I catch the replay? It's exactly the same link. The chat shows up on, it takes about 24 hours for the chat to show up, but the link in YouTube will be there. So wonderful, peaceful rest of the holiday weekend. And I will be back here on July 13th. You do have to register. It's not public. So that will be on Zoom for Outsmart Your Practice. And check the comments. As soon as that link is live, I will add it to the comments here below. So thank you so much. And this girl, she deserves a round of applause too, don't you think? She's amazing. She just stays. She knows that when I'm at the piano, when I bring out her dog bed isn't normally here. She has one by the piano and one in the other room. So she normally she just knows when the music comes out. Michael, I'm so glad you were here. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You watched it on TV and YouTube. Fantastic. So thank you so much. Enjoy. Have a wonderful evening.